Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. Welcome to another PlayStation review. Today's review is for South of the Circle. This game was released just yesterday on the PlayStation Store. I paid less than £10 for it in the UK. And it took me about 5 hours, give or take, to complete the game overall. Now, what is South of the Circle? Well, essentially, it is a narrative-heavy adventure game that focuses on a character called Peter. Now, Peter meets Clara very early on in the game. They are both university lecturers in the 50s in the UK. They slowly start falling in love. Peter is working on proving his weather theories. He's writing a paper, trying to get taken seriously. He's struggling a little bit, and Clara helps him. Now, in order for him to confirm his theories, he gets the opportunity to go to the Antarctica, which is where you start the game. The game starts with a plane crash, essentially, and you are stranded in the Antarctic, and you have to essentially go and explore to try and find solutions to the situation that you're in. So the game focuses very heavily on flipping between the current and the past. So the current is him in the Antarctic, and the past, it keeps flashing between the Antarctic scenario and his life at Cambridge and his life with Clara. And that's essentially the game. Now, what I really liked about this game is it is superbly written. And it was written and directed by Luke Whittaker. Now, I wouldn't normally quote who wrote and directed a game, because essentially, games aren't movies, generally speaking, but I'm also a big advocate for certainly the right game sometimes crosses boundaries and crosses genres, and this is the sort of thing that critics who don't like gaming and gaming experiences should kind of watch and interact with, because I think it would open their eyes as to how effective and impactful a well-written game can be. And this game is absolutely superbly written, with some actually of the finest voice acting I've heard for quite some time in a game. Really brilliant stuff. Now, honestly, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this isn't a game I would have shown any interest in at all. I wasn't interested in like these, indie games, very narrative heavy great games, with got a profound voice sort of thing. But this last 12 months or so, 18 months or so, I've started, putting a little bit more time into them. And I've played things like Best Month Ever, Road 96, Hitchhiker, and all of these games are like, quite thoughtful and profound games in the sense of the narrative that they're giving you. And this game is absolutely no exception. It's set in the backdrop of the 50s. There was heavy communism. It talks, about real life events like the Cambridge 4 spy ring and all this kind of stuff. So it kind of weaves different story elements into it to make it feel very raw and grounded and real. And definitely the relationship between Peter and Clara felt very genuine and real to me, and quite beautiful at times. I just thought this was quite a thoughtful and beautiful game. The art style in itself is just, I think, jaw-dropping. It is beautifully drawn. I think it just looks stunning. I just think the art design here is on another level. And that, coupled with the very impactful soundtrack, the great voice acting, the great writing, really kept me invested in continuing this game. Now, I say the game kind of with a little bit of pinch of salt, really, because this doesn't really feel like a game when you're playing it. The only real control you have in this game is choosing dialogue options for Peter. And he's got a number of dialogue options sometimes. You've got you can kind of, if it's like a red one, you can kind of react a little bit shocked, or you can react in a more grounded way, or a more calm way, or a more excited and enthusiastic way. And it does explain these controls right at the beginning of the game. But I got the distinct impression that it wouldn't necessarily affect very much in the way of the outcome here. It doesn't feel like this has got like branching paths all over the place, and I don't know if there's alternate endings or anything like that. There are some choices that you get to make, certainly with Clara, that can have an impact, you know, in regards to, for example, what colour house you would prefer and whether you were going to keep her as part of the partnership with the paper that you're writing. And there's a few other choices that it feels like that those are bigger choices than others. But to be honest, the choices never really for me felt like they would have a huge impact on the outcome of the game. And I could be wrong there. It just kind of, sometimes if you don't press any button, it'll say something anyway, sort of thing. So this is almost like a book come to life that you can kind of interact with. The only other control you have over the character is like when he's exploring through the Antarctic, you can kind of walk him through the snow. You can walk around rooms, you can explore here and there and pick certain things up that might win you a trophy here and there. And you can get in certain vehicles, certain like snow vehicles, and kind of push the left stick forward and you move, but it's, you know, you don't get to really control the vehicle. It just kind of moves forward and slightly left, slightly right. Very, very minimalistic stuff here in regards to controlling any of the character driven stuff. This is far more of a narrative story, this. And it kept me absolutely gripped till the end. Like I say, you know, he's over in the Antarctic, like studying his weather theories, sort of thing, and his radiation theories. But in actual fact, he kind of gets drawn into the Cold War, and there's like this nuclear mystery over there in the Antarctic that he's got to kind of investigate and almost uncover, which is pretty good. But for me, the real impact here is this is, for me, a profoundly impactful story that touches on love, work, women's rights, the Cold War. It covers a lot of different things, and if this is a game that sounds interesting to you, then this is a game you should certainly pick up. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because I just thought it was really well written, and I really thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. For those of you out there that obviously, you know, are not interested in this sort of thing, you're more interested in your action games and things like this probably isn't going to win you over. But for me, I really enjoyed my time with it. So it's in the PlayStation Store now, guys. Pick it up if it's the sort of thing that might be of interest to you. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you very much for watching. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.